Me, listen to this music. Yeah, it brings me back to the old days when Rob was knee high to a grasshopper up in Alabama and all places up there in Texas. He's out there to dance floor. I can see him cutting the rug right now, all right? He was like, cutting the rug, what does that mean? Well, back there they have been dancing as we listened to the Panhandle Gator Club show. See Bay County partnership with other Gator clubs. And there's a QR code. If you want to click on that and find out more, we want you to participate. We're kind of a brand new show. Matter of fact, I couldn't remember if it was our second or third show. It's our third. And we're very happy about that. We're glad to have Rob as a partner. We're going to do a lot of fun things. It's going to be today. So hang on and find out what's going on. Hello, Rob. How you doing?
Good morning. I am always a good guy when days end with a Y.
There you go. Well, you got a lot to pick from. You're always a good guy, is right. And I love being doing the show. We're only doing it 3 weeks, 3 times. I couldn't remember that this is our second or third, but we have a lot of people to thank for their help. Brand new show. This show is designed to bring Gators and other fans in this area together. The Panhandle Gator Club has graciously agreed to be the title sponsor of this. And we, of course, thank our sponsors, which we're going to be doing on Rockit Lanes, especially our title sponsorship. And Rob, if you can put in your own words what this show is, maybe people will begin to understand it. And if you're listening out there, some of you say, well, it's a Buddy Bart show. Well, it's really not. I'm on the show. And tell your friends and neighbors about us, what we're doing. We're trying to bring more awareness of the Gators and the college football programs. And we welcome people from other college programs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We try to emphasize the Panhandle. So that's all the way from Pensacola to Tallahassee to Apalachicola, all the way up to Marianna, Chipley. So this area is unique in some ways. It has the best beaches of the world and has some of the best people. We just love people come down here and enjoy our area.
We're going to have on one of them this morning whose family's been coming here for 80 years. He's not that old, but since his dad recently passed, but they come down here to the Panhandle with so many great places along 30A and in there. And you're going to help educate us. I'm a newcomer. I've been here a year and a half. My wife has failed in trying to train me. I'm doing my best, but I need a little outside help. And you're going to tell us some things about what we can see, what we can do. It's a lot you don't know. A lot I don't know. There's a lot of people who live here don't know. And what we're going to do is try to get people together. We'll have some functions at some point. We'll get to meet each other. And tell us about the Panhandle Gator Club. You were the former president. What do you call it? Captain, president, whatever.
It was president. Yeah, I'm former president. I was president for 4 years. Been involved with the local Gator Club here called the Panhandle Gator Club, which encompasses Bay, Holmes, Calhoun, Washington, Jackson, Gulf counties. So it's kind of from the Alabama-Georgia border all the way down to Port St. Joe. So which includes Panama City. We encompass the Alumni Association. We're an affiliate member of the University of Florida Alumni Association, and we try to bring Gators and Gator friends. You don't have to be a Gator. You don't have to be a member. We invite anybody who would like to associate and have fun with some Gators. We do monthly events we'll talk about later stuff, but we just have a good time and socialize.
Give a contact information how to get a hold of somebody at the Panhandle Gator Club.
The easiest way is either Facebook or a website, just Panhandle Gator Club. So if you search for Panhandle Gator Club on Facebook or a website, we have both.
And of course, I gave you the QR code, and I can do that again. There it is right there, a QR code. If you want to click on that and find out what's going on, that might be a good thing as well. That's the modern way of doing things. We don't do it like we used to do it, Rob. That's for sure. So, all right. So you got some topics that you want to visit today. Now, here's the thing I want to say. We do the big show. We have really big crowds and what have you, and we're grateful for that. But where you live is important. So it's important what goes on around you, from the smallest to the biggest things. And today we're going to talk about something that you never hear on another show. And it's about the need for local officials, meaning of people to call games, particularly soccer. And I have pretty familiar with the officiating situation. Over the years, I've known a lot of good ones, know a lot of good ones now. And you were one at one time. And this is kind of granular. This is digging down more deep where we live to say, folks, if you're in the sound of my voice and you're around the Big Bend or the Panhandle area, or even up in Alabama or out even further, if you have a story to share, please log on and do that. Give us your thoughts about it, because this is what matters where we live. You had quite an experience as an official in Alabama. Talk about that.
Yeah, for 8 years when I lived in North Alabama, I graduated from University of Florida and then moved to North Alabama where I worked. And while I was there, there's a University of North Alabama, and they had a club soccer team. We just happened to be associated with an international part of that. So we had Brazilians and Germans and Argentinians and Mexicans that all played on this team. You talk about an awesome club team. We had, I'll just say, the best probably non-professional team you could build. During that time of playing, I also officiated for 8 years. I also coached Little League soccer for those 8 years and just had a blast. So the experience was great.
Yeah, and it's hard to find good ones. And look, from the standpoint of the spectator, we pretty much abuse officials. We love to complain about how we got hosed. And you have a game like we had last week with Oklahoma involved in a play that should never have been. Auburn got hosed on that one. And you think, well, see, there, it's a conspiracy. Honestly, I've known a lot of officials. I've never known a really good official to even think about something like that. There's just like the doctor being the oath of Hippocrates. If you got to call it that way, you call it that way without fear or favor. And a lot of the great ones I've known, including Don Rutledge, who called 7 Final Fours. Irv Brown, I know Don called 8, I think. Irv Brown, who covered 6 Final Fours in basketball. And there's, of course, football, too. They really give their best. They make mistakes. They're human beings. I see now what's interesting is that the baseball now has decided to go to automated umpires. Now, I don't know. There's some good for that. I don't know what you think about it. I know as an official you don't like it, but there are a lot of balls and strikes missed, I will say. And you can't argue balls and strikes. So maybe on balls and strikes, they already got the reviews. And as someone said in college ball, again, as long as you're talking about officials, let's not get our eyes off what we're talking about. I want you to go ahead and talk about this Jack Anderson thing and who they are, whatever, in Panama City, because they need to be honored for doing this. But officiating is just a hard job to do, and they're going to miss some. And when they do, it seems like it always goes against your team. That's how it is, right? It's always your team against you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
if I have one irritation, it was years ago. I can't even think, probably a good 15, 20 years ago, when there was a baseball umpire strike. And one of the officials, the umpires, made a statement. And I'll go frame that first. We have rules of what a strike and a ball is. It's very clear. It's according to the plate, height, width, and so on. But this one umpire said, I don't care what that says. I have my strike zone. Well, to me, that's wrong in the first place. And secondly, I will say, if you're going to have it, at least call it consistently on both ways, so both teams can play. So even though I don't like your strike zone, if you do it consistently, we'll have to live with it. But I don't like when an umpire thinks he's above the rules.
Agree with you, and I think most everybody agrees to that. So, and go ahead and talk about this thing they're doing in Panama City, which I applaud them for. They're celebrating at the low level, and they're trying to start these kids off right. Talk about this Jack Anderson thing.
I sure will. This past Monday, the Arnold High School boys soccer coach, Jonathan Hammond, started a new initiative to recognize local soccer referees beginning this season. And they introduced, which will be multiple annual awards. So this past Monday, Jack Anderson was received, I guess, the inaugural award, which is named after him as a Jack Anderson Center Referee Award. Now, Jack was, I think I said 40 years. He's been,
Sorry, go ahead.
that's okay. I believe it's Jack. Gosh, if I read right, I'm missing it here, but I believe he's officiated for 40 years. So he named the initial award after him and presented him the initial award. Yeah, here it is. 4 decades have been officiating. Along with Jack Anderson, there were 4 referees recognized. Andres Levine as a Center Referee Award, Sammy Nizam and Kevin Atterbury as Assistant Referee Honors, and Heinz Karmazin received the 4th official reward. This will be presented every year and is a quite great recognition for the soccer officials who probably get very little recognition otherwise.
Well said. And again, folks, you're probably tuning this on and saying, what is this? Because this show doesn't have a lot of ballyhoo and whatever, and we're kind of sneaking up on you here. And we appreciate your support and your interest. Appreciate you letting people know how to get on here. And we'd like to have your opinions and your thoughts. We're going to go to those. But you know what we need to do? Talk about our sponsors. We got a really great title sponsor, and you know them well. If you would tell us all about Rockit Lanes. By the way, it's a lot more than a bowling alley. Trust me on this. I've been there. You can get lost, and I did get lost because it's so massive. And they have a lot of things going on at Rockit, and tell us about it.
Well, come get social at Rockit Lanes. It's a home of the Panhandle Gator Club, 513 North Richard Jackson Boulevard in Panama City Beach, in the shops of Edgewater across from Edgewater Beach Resort. Kristen Sheffield, their manager, is just a great person, takes great care of that. Like I said, they have a bowling alley, I think 24 lanes. They have an 8,000 square foot roller skating rink. They have a huge amount of arcade games, both retro and current. But Kristen Sheffield, the manager, I will say although she was a William and Mary graduate, I guess she moved to the Panhandle area, and she sent her both daughters to Florida, so she's got to be a pretty good person,
I would say.
So we thank Kristen and Rockit Lanes for hosting the Panhandle Gator Club.
If you haven't been there, you need to go because it's massive. I mean, you didn't even mention the skating rink and all that other stuff that they got there. It's big, and we love Kristen. We love what they're doing, and we love they support the Gator Club and they support us. So,
and I didn't mention, if you want to go and take your kids, they do have a bar in the back that has many TVs. So if you want to go watch a football game or sporting event or just relax while your kids are enjoying it, that's a good place for you to go.
He's Rob Dotson. I'm Buddy Martin. It's a new show called the Panhandle Gator Club show, podcast, actually, is what it is. We'll be with you every 2 weeks. We can't be with you every week. And right here, we love to share your thoughts. Like to hear from you if you have a thought or a suggestion or a question, or you want to tell us how handsome Rob is and how ugly I am. That's fine. We know that. So
I'm kind of roughing it now. I've gone through some kind of I guess it's a skin cream, kind of like a skin peel at the moment, and gets rid of some pre-cancer stuff. So my face is burning like it's been stuck in a fire pit.
Yeah. Thanks to our good friend Barone, who's on several shows quite regular on our Buddy Martin show, and also on Shane Matthews' show. Very astute fan. He's checking in to say good morning, and also Jamie Coulette says good morning. Let's say good morning back to him. And thank you for tuning in, and tell your friends and neighbors about us. We love when you do that. Coming up in just a minute, Rob Brown should be joining us, and he's the man on SEC sidelines. In fact, I monitored him today, and he should be joining us shortly. And we'll get his take on how about this new schedule. We've talked about it a lot. There's some good, some not so good. It's kind of hard to understand why you would think taking away Florida LSU and Florida Tennessee would be a good thing. No matter what you say, it's kind of hard to justify that. But I would ask you, and again, I would ask you to please consider the SEC's predicament. You might want to think about the overall picture. And it took me a while. I don't know about you, Rob. I was really unhappy with it when I first heard about it. Like, anytime you take Tennessee off the board and LSU, that's not good. But here's the key: they're looking for a competitive balance. And what does that mean? What the good news is, you get to see everybody every 2 years. Who you don't see this year, like Tennessee, you'll see next year. So that's one good thing. And I understand. We'll get with Rob Brown and ask his thought about. He does a show called SEC Sidelines, and he just got off the air. So, the Rob and Rob show.
Ready to go?
And we're on the air.
Yeah, I mean, we had a lively discussion this morning about all these SEC matchups, and I just got tuned in, so I don't know if y'all were talking about Florida. Of course,
not yet. We saved it for you.
Yeah, and I said this on Lauren's show Tuesday night. When you don't win at Florida, you lack for nothing. You've got I think the football players, I'm not saying facilities, are better in the state of Florida than they are any other state per capita, because the track and field programs are so good in Florida. So you've got more speed, more just, but you don't. But it's weird. You don't have the quarterbacks that they have in Texas. But this is the fourth year for Billy Napier, and all I see is the same mistakes are being made that were made in year 1, 2, and 3. And when you only have 32 yards of offense at the half against Miami, and people are still waiting for them to crystal ball. That's like Dabo used to call it Clemsoning. That I think that was kind of the tip of the spear. But also, DJ Lagway obviously was hurt. Y'all all questioned it all spring and all summer, and he missed so much work. Roman Harper was on the show yesterday morning with us, and he said he's been working for 3 or 4 weeks right now, and everybody else is 5 and 6 months ahead of him. That's kind of where Florida football is. But man, the cost of a rebuild and all that kind of stuff, you got to think about it. Do you just keep the coach as a figurehead and go spend a lot of money on an offensive coordinator? That's not my call, but that's what Ohio State did with Chip Kelly, and it got them a national championship, and they're still winning. And even though Chip Kelly's gone.
Yes, and we're going to light this up a little bit here, and with Rob, and don't forget his show is at 9 o'clock Eastern, right? Am I right?
Mm-hmm. 9 Eastern, yeah.
And obviously 10 Central. He's on 5 days a week. He has some great guests. Your Mac Brown interview was one of the best things you've ever done. He was really good, I thought. And, you think, what's Mac Brown got to tell us? A lot.
A lot.
You've been there and done that. I thought it was a fascinating interview. And you've got some great guests. And I like the show. I would tell people, if you will, please check them out. And we're new. We know it's going to be a growth thing. We're there. But we'd like you to like and share this program and tell your friends and neighbors to come join us, because we like to post the comments like here's one from Neo, who's not very happy with somebody. Ole Miss fans saying you have a better program in Florida. I think they want to keep Kiffin. That's why they say, what about Kiffin? And we've all had our thoughts about the coaching situation. Frankly, I don't know. Okay? Let's just tell it like this. I don't know. But we like to speculate. It's like talking about stocks, Rob.
Yep.
Well, they're about stocks. You'll be in the end of the thing. It's like you get pick one out you like and put your money down. Mm-hmm. I didn't ask my partner, Rob Dotson, yet about his thoughts about that yet. Let's start with that and say, first of all, the coach is still there, okay? That's one thing we got to remember. It's still there. And secondly, I don't know. Who do you see? Who do you want? I'll put it that way, Rob. Rob Dotson. Rob 1, Rob 2.
RD and RB.
There you go.
Well, when I look at potential who could come, I don't see what I would call an available or potential big name. Now, I know some of y'all are a Kiffin fan. I'm not really a Kiffin fan myself, but I know, Buddy, you are stuff, and many of the big alumni are. I just see him as a good coach, but I don't see him being elite yet. Now, does that mean he couldn't be? Possible. But as far as other coach, I mean, be honest, what the coach has done at Vanderbilt's been impressive. What some of the other, we talk about the the smaller league, some of those coaches. Well, we've got Billy now. That didn't work out. Stuff. I really thought this year was the year. I think we all thought this year is the year. The Gators have been building. Napier has been putting the team together. He's been getting the culture back where it needed to get. Been building some talent. This year's was an 8-win season. Well, I think we're going to be lucky to win 4 or 5 now, considering the schedule. So I don't know. I don't know who the next coach should be or could be, but Drinkwitz is another one from Missouri consideration. So we'll just play it out. I know I hear people say it's only 3 games in a season and you got to give him time. Well, he's had 3 years, and first 3 games shows me that nothing's changed, particularly the play calling, which I've defended for a lot.
Rob, that's pretty much it right there. I think the majority of people, if you took a popular vote right now and said the winner gets to be the coach, it would be it might be Urban Meyer. I don't know. They're also trying to put some money together to get him. That's what I was told by one big money guy. But Kiffin is the guy that fits the bill. Now, I'll ask you both to comment on this. Have you seen any of the program on ESPN about Kiffin? It's really good. I mean, they got underneath this thing, and they got the real story behind this guy. And when you look at the situation, when I see the family of Lane Kiffin, and by the way, he's divorced, his ex-wife and his children, and whoever's sitting down at the table in Oxford with him to have dinner, and him looking as happy and content as he does, I'm thinking, how can that guy leave that? Rob, too?
Well, I'm in Memphis, and I know a lot of the people in the Grove Collective that are donors to Ole Miss, and people like Yancey Porter, who's on our show every Tuesday from Rebel Yell Hotline. And Kiffin has moved. His ex-wife's there. His brother's there. His kids are there. His daughter is having some Instagram, relationship now with Whit Weeks, LSU linebacker. And that's just playing into the drama for the Magnolia Bowl, which is what they call LSU and Ole Miss. I don't think people give enough credit to how much money there is at Ole Miss. Their accounting school's number 3 or 4 in the country. Their law school, it's hard to beat a trial lawyer with a Southern drawl from the Mississippi Delta. They make movies about them. John Grisham writes books about them. Dickie Scruggs was a guy that won the tobacco settlement on the Gulf Coast of Mississippi years ago. His take was $700 million. There were 14 other attorneys on that. Some of them are getting $300 and $400 million payouts over 15 years. Jim Barksdale, Netscape. There's a lot of money there. And I think Lane Kiffin, if you look at the last 4 years, 3 times Ole Miss has finished in the top 12. Put that in perspective. They've only done that 4 times since the early 60s. They won national titles. They claim them, recognize them. I have to say that as an Auburn guy. I'll take that one. But 59, 60, and 62. Johnny Vaught won, in 5 years, won 196 games, 6 SEC titles, and 3 SEC titles, 3 national titles. But I just think there's more money there than people want to give it credit for. And give Kiffin, his due. 4 years ago, they were going to spend $350 million to renovate and retrofit the stadium at Vaught-Hemingway. And he said, hold on a second. Let's put that into NIL. And a lot of that was going to be debt service. They didn't have $350 million in cash like A&M did. But there's just so many reasons for him to stay there. Now, if you don't know anything about Ole Miss and you look at the 2 jobs, it's obvious. Florida it's a great job regardless. It's just getting the right fit. And but I like what Allie Peak Wilbur, Rob Dotson. I don't know if you saw Buddy's show with Allie the other night. Allie's right. I've been saying it. You know what? Get Buddy Martin and Franz, people like that, to introduce Napier to the Florida fan base. And then, push comes to shove. If you've got someone like Buddy's backing, and as they say in the country, that's not nothing. That's a big deal. So I wouldn't be worried about Kiffin coming. I'd just be saying, who's the right fit? Is it John Summerall? at Tulane? Is it Rhett Lashley at SMU? I mean, does he want to leave that gravy train in Highland Park? But the Florida job should be, it's a top 10 job. And from
top
50,
5, according to Urban Meyer's top 5.
Yeah.
Something
I mean,
like
even right now, it's a top 10 roster. It's number 9. The top 2 rosters in the SEC are Georgia and Alabama, and then Florida's 3rd. And look, I missed it. I had the Gators to win 10 this year, but I also didn't know what Pete Cordelli said on our Monday show. DJ was hurt, and so he's way behind. He might be healthy now, but Buddy, Brendan, Lauren, a lot of people on this channel, the Gator Bait people, they were demanding answers, and they never got them. So there was always a little bit of discomfort there. But Florida, get it right. I don't know who makes that decision, if they make a change, but get somebody that embraces what the Florida culture is, and 500,000 living alumni. 500,000, man. You know, you're on a gravy train with biscuit wheels when you're the head coach at Florida.
Yeah. By the way, I'm not wearing black because I've been mourning, although it does feel like a little bit. It's a good week. Hey, it's the first day of autumn, right? We got some great games this weekend. Look at it like this. Even if the football team doesn't do well, going to have a new coach. Hopefully it'll be somebody that we like, can change the direction, because even Steve Spurrier has said, do something different. We all know the definition of insanity. And I think the problem is that people don't feel like Billy listens and reacts or cares about what his fan base thinks. And I think that's one of the reasons he's in trouble at this point. And that, of course, the fact that he's lost. Someone said last night, they could take in last year's quarterback and put him in there, and then they won more games. They're going to win at least 2. And we know exactly what happened to him. So, I don't know. They're addressing some questions here. And look, we don't know anything. Everything we're saying is based on hunches. Asking about Dan Lanning, I hear a lot about that. It's incredible buyout. I think it's $50 million. Some ridiculous, $20 million, excuse me. And so he's not going to leave Oregon, and that Nike money, there's no way. Why would he? I talked to a very famous former athletic director. I mean, as famous as it gets, off the record a couple of weeks ago. He said, guide me on this and tell me what's the key to hiring the right guy. Because every time Florida's had an opening, you've tried to hire Bobby Stoops, it seems like the last 10 years, 20 years, whatever. And that ain't happening, although last night someone brought it up again. What is it? He said, the key, buddy, is movability. You may think someone's going to jump at your job and will come there, and Florida's a top 5 job, but Lane Kiffin's got some good reasons to stay at Ole Miss, and Dan Lanning's got some good reasons to stay at Oregon. So it's not easy to move people. We've all done some hiring of other people in our time, and we think, well, this guy would love this. And they say, no, I'm happy. I don't want to come there, And so there you go. So let's address a couple of questions here for folks. Dan Lanning, I say not movable. What do you guys think?
No.
I mean, Matt Dean on our Thursday show's son is on the staff in his 4th year with Dan Lanning. Phil Knight will not let him leave. That you know what? I thought T. Boone Pickens, when he died, his 706 estate tax return would leave Oklahoma State with a lot of money, but somebody didn't get the memo because
is gone.
They're gone.
Mm-hmm.
But our Urban Meyer, I love that guy, man. And I did when he was coaching. He is so intense and so dialed in and so focused. If I was a coach, I'd want to be. My personality would be like Will Muschamp or Urban Meyer. Now, Muschamp didn't have the results in Florida that Urban Meyer did, but Boone can recruit his ass off. But I just wonder, on the coach, not having a president. It hurts to not have a president. Y'all know the landscape a lot better than me, but A&M's got a room full of, like the old TV show Dallas, a room full of J.R. Ewings in there with cowboy hats and bolero ties, and all of them bench pressing their wallets in public. Florida's got a lot of money people. If you've got The money at almost every school in America, the biggest money, believe it or not, comes from the College of Engineering. In the South, it's Georgia Tech, and then Florida and Auburn are chasing Georgia Tech to get to be that school. Florida's got money, just don't have a president. And I think that would help. But there's got to be a guy out there that, Lance Leipold at Kansas.
I'm told no on him. They wouldn't go for him. I don't know. He's done a great job. Here's the thing, and Rob, speak up on this issue. There's a certain amount of arrogance in this. They're not going to go back to another group of 5 coach after getting burned by Billy. And when he got burned, not only did he not coach well now this year, we found out who he is. And that is, he's so arrogant and he will not change. And so when you're like that, I mean, you're going to go down, and he will go to his grave thinking he's a good play caller, and he's at best average. We've seen the great ones. So I don't know. The president, everybody wants to talk about that. Barone's talking about Fuchs, etc. Yeah, I don't know about the president. We'll see. That's beyond my pay grade. But I'm just trying to get a football coach, Rob.
Yeah. The president is the university selected one as a recommendation. It had to go to the state legislature. State legislator voted it down. They didn't want that. I think it was from Michigan. The gentleman.
Yeah, he was the one who covered up the cheese.
Right. So we got a temporary for now. Like you said, it is important for the coach because the president's a stability behind a head coach. So you bring a new president in here next couple of years, don't like the coach you bring in, it causes issues. We just, Florida's got a lot of flux going on now, but a lot of things have to get cleaned up. But the top alumni, I call them the big alumni. They're getting very frustrated, so I think they're going to open the wallets up and just say, "Hey, let's fix this thing and get moving in the right direction again."
For sure. Time for me to tell you about how it's fixing things. I know my son's in the market for these. If you have a teenager, you know about these orthodontics. Everybody has to deal with this one time or the other. So we've got just the person for you, even if you're not in Northwest Florida. Prime, not prime. It's prime time, not prime time. They're ready to give you the smile of your dreams. At Prime Orthodontics, we'll make it happen with braces or clear aligners tailored just for you or your child. Our expert team combines cutting-edge technology with personalized care, all in a friendly, comfortable environment. Whether you're a teen, adult, or somewhere between, your perfect smile starts here. Call Prine, P-R-I-N-E, Orthodontics today, or visit us online to book your complimentary consultation, and 2 locations to serve you: Panama City on Highway 390 and Panama City Beach on Panama City Beach Parkway also. And check them out. This is where smiles begin. Prime Orthodontics. Good folks. All right,
my grandson just got his bottom braces put in Tuesday by Prime Orthodontics.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I know Brendan has got to do the same thing with Stella. So speaking of Brendan, he's out today with tech problems, and he'll be back 2 weeks from now. I did speak with Jay Moody. You don't know who he is, Rob?
Yes.
Not Rob, too. He's the son-in-law of Steve Spurrier. And he's married to Steve's daughter, Amy, and they live right here in Panama City. They're big Gators, obviously. And I've been trying to get up with Jay since I saw him in the lawyer's office when I first moved here. I want to get his take on life here in the Panama City area and in the Panhandle. He's a good one. I know you know about him, Rob. And he is. I had a nice chat with him. Finally called me back. So I'm so sorry I didn't get back to you. I've got issues with things like taxes. I know about that, man. Oh my gosh, I've been buried them. So Jay's a good dude, and Amy's probably the reason that Steve Spurrier's Grind Grill exists today, because Steve's been looking for a place for years to put all his junk. He's got a bunch of it. You know how us guys are. We have a lot of junk. And she at one time thought about going over to St. Augustine and the alligator farm and see if they wanted to open something over there. But up stepped Freddie Weeby and the rest of the history. What a great place. Have you been there? Either one of you been to Spurrier's Grind Grill?
Yes, I have. A great place.
Yeah, really good. It's really good food and it's good atmosphere, and they do an amazing job. And I'll tell you what a little birdie told me. Shouldn't probably bring it up. They're about to unveil their wall of fame for sports writers. And they're going to name the people that Steve Spurrier thinks were the best when they covered him and all during the last 40, 50 years. And so there's going to be a typewriter, a real typewriter in the podcast room. It's going to be a scroll with the names of these people who get named to the Press Box Hall of Fame. It's a neat thing he does. He does it all there for sure. Okay, let's go. We're going to speak to Franz in a moment here. Hey, look, guys, basketball is coming. It's going to be the defense of the national championship. What a year. And we've got to wait for you to celebrate that. Franz Beard have just completed his book, The Golden Season. And he's going to talk about it some here in a minute. If it's done or where you can get it, we're going to have a little scoopage on this book. And so I know you all know the story. I mean, it just couldn't have come. And I'm trying to put together something else, but the last thing on the book, supposed to be due today or tomorrow, about the people who follow Florida basketball who got a mulligan because of this. Never thinking they would get to. Rob, you're smiling. Rob, when you're smiling, you think, man, I ain't going to get this again. I mean, I got it once, and here it is. How's it feel, Rob? One?
It's exciting. I'm looking forward to another season. Last year, as I called the cardiac kids because I'm surprised I didn't have a cardiac arrest after the last 10 games in a row. We'd be behind by 5 or 10 and come back. I know my neighbor, which is not a Gator, but he'd say, "Hey, Rob, it's not looking good for the Gators." And I must have said it 5 times. I said, "Scott, don't count them out." And they kept coming back. So it was exciting. I'm looking forward to this book.
Somebody's telling me I was reading somewhere that they were at another game that didn't know what was happening. Might have been an NBA game. And the official had an ability to tune in as what's going on. And when they told them they were down by 10 or 11, whatever it was there with under 3 to go, pretty much think that's it. It's over, right? And then when the game was over and the official told them, they couldn't believe it. That's the thing about this basketball team. They just didn't win it. They won it in a semi-miraculous way. Just when we thought they were dead in the water, Rob.
Well, when you win close games back to back to back, you keep doing it, you just get better as a team. Because then you think, okay, we don't have to win it in the first 30 minutes. We can do it in the full 40. Like in football, the full 60. And that's what they did. And Walter Clayton Jr., his football background out of, what he did there made him a better basketball player. He's a physical, tough guy, but he's an alpha male. I mean, you're going to play your ass off for him or you're not going to be on the court with him. Matt, you got to have guys like that. And Todd Golden, his temperament, he's just, he's Ward Cleaver. He's a genius. He's got everybody calm, and he's got what Florida has. They had last year, and that'll be Todd Golden. They have 4 or 5 just big, tall guys that can move, not just occupying space. And wow, SEC basketball, it's here we are. That's what's happened. Here it is, September 26th, and we're talking basketball. It didn't used to be like that, and you know what? I can't. Franz's book will be awesome because Franz is a basketball savant. I mean, when he's talking basketball, it's you're out there. The stories, the recollections, the memories. This is going to be a coffee table book that everybody ought to put in their office or their house. I can't wait. I'm going to buy me a copy. I'm going to buy several of them because it's going to be a story written by someone who understands Florida's culture, also what that means to Gator Nation.
Also, great photographs. We got a ton of
Oh,
photographs.
yeah.
And Chris Spears is one of the
God.
best. Whenever you join it, you're going to get the books, and we're trying to figure out how to deliver them now. We'll have more on that. We got to get the book printed. Then we're going to have Franz on in a minute and talk to him about that. But hey, why not talk basketball? Not a lot to talk about in football except, I'm calling plays and getting a new coach, right?
That's right. I mean, hey, dribble the ball, man. Let's go.
Yeah, tip it off. Let's go. They don't tip it off anymore. They used to. Yeah, so, all right. So we're going to bring Franz in just a moment. Let me get you guys to weigh in on this new schedule. And Rob, you talk a lot about it on your show, SEC Sidelines, and we didn't know what to expect, and we get it. We still didn't know what we had, and we're still trying to figure it out. My first reaction was, no. Anything that takes Tennessee, Florida, and Tennessee, LSU off my schedule is not a good thing. Yeah. I've softened that view some. I've looked at the thing globally overall to be a so-called more compatible. I mean, think about this. Should Florida have the schedule they got again? No. And they're not, because next year, not 2026, they're not going to have Tennessee, not going to have LSU. Because they have, when they put the permanent opponents, would it be fair to stick Florida with those? I would love it from the standpoint of the opposition, but my gosh, the next coach is going to get a break here because they don't have to deal with that. And Spurrier used to complain about it and said, not only do I play in the SEC, but I got to play FSU in Miami, and the FSU, by the way, was a top 5 team almost every year he played them. That's not competitive balance for them. So there's some light there. Some good things. I'm still not thrilled about the fact, but we'll see them next year, right, Rob? Rob, 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever.
Well, my take on it is, and maybe I sound like a Gator homer, is at least this time
it's okay.
Florida didn't get screwed by the SEC.
Yeah.
Okay. And as much as I love to have played, it killed me when we dropped Auburn a few years ago. But dropping Tennessee and LSU really is a hard to take. But at the same time, if we had Georgia, Tennessee, LSU, our schedule had been brutal every year. So when I look at it from an overall standpoint of the whole conference, I don't see any one school that got really screwed with a really tough schedule. There are some that are tougher than others. I think Missouri, South Carolina probably have some of the tougher schedules, permanent 3. But overall, I see it as about as balanced as I think you could get, 9-game schedule and 3 permanents.
Rob,
too, if we bring Franz in here, go ahead.
No, I would agree with that. When Roman Harper was on the show yesterday, we talked about the schedule, and he goes, I really hadn't seen it, but he had. And we talked about it. At least the conference, it's going to be better than it was. Georgia still, because of the virus here in 2020, still has never played in College Station. And Florida hadn't played at Auburn since 2011. Auburn played at Florida in 2019. Geographically, Auburn's the closest SEC school to Florida, to Gainesville, for what that means. And it's, if you go straight from campus, you're on the beach in 143 miles. So, yeah, that part of it, but at least every 4 years, if you stay at a school for 4 years, you'll play everybody home and away, and your 3 annual opponents. They'll be reviewing that in 4 years. But Tennessee, Florida, that we all have memories of that. Florida, LSU, that's the I-10 battle. I mean, my God, you can't please everybody, but what you can do is bring in Franz Beard, who's going to talk about this book.
Right,
I want to hear about that. I want to hear about his book, because that's a badass book.
Before we do that, we're going to give him clear sailing. And Rob Dotson is going to tell us about our sponsor, who they do a great job. And we were there last year in Rockit Lanes. Rob, tell them all about it before you guys meet on the Panhandle Gator Club meetings.
I'd be glad to. Rocket Lanes is the host of the Panhandle Gator Club for our game viewings and other meetings and so on. So come get social at Rocket Lanes and bring your family for a day enjoying bowling or skating in their 8,000 square foot skating rink, or geek out in their 16,000 square foot mega arcade. It's just an awesome place. But the main thing is they are the host of the Panhandle Gator Club. So join fellow Gators and friends at a football watch party each week. Watch the Gators on one of their many TV screens while enjoying their Saturday beer specials. Although there's no Gator game this week, come watch some other game, but come join us next week. Rocket Lanes, 513 North Richard Jackson Boulevard, Panama City Beach, in the shops of Edgewater across from the Edgewater Beach Resort, 850-249-2695. or rocketlanes.com.
Our title sponsor, Rocket Lanes. Here's a QR code. Check it out. Now, we have a scoop here. I'm going to do a little scoopage. My man, Franz Beard, is going to tell you early what's going to be announced later. And some big news coming Monday because something is going to the printer. Let me guess what it is, Franz.
It may be something that's got my name on it. That's all I know.
That means it's good.
Well, I hope so. My book is coming out, and thanks to Buddy and Carlton Reese for all the hard work they've done. But my book about the national championship season called The Golden Season, and it's going to be it's a start to finish recap of the entire season, not just the NCAA tournament run, although there's a lot of info about that. This was a work of love in one respect for me, because this season kind of rescued me, because it's been a bad year from a personal standpoint, having lost my stepfather and my parent of 31 years. I know that may sound weird to some people, but that bird sat on my shoulder for 31 years and edited my
parent, Pal Rut.
And
Ralphie.
So Ralphie sat on my shoulder and edited my copy, bit my ear when she thought I was falling asleep at the computer. So this was really a labor of love writing about this championship, because it was a lot like 2006 in that when the season began, we knew they were good, but how good we didn't know. We knew the 2006 team was going to be good. How good we didn't know. They won the national championship. These guys won the national championship, fought on the toughest road to a championship that I think anybody's ever taken. They had the two-time national champion on there. They had Texas Tech on there, and then what a lot of people are saying is the toughest Final Four in history, having to play Auburn, which was, I think, the best team in the country all year long. And Florida just happened to catch them at the right time with the right guy, hotter as he could be, and that's Walter Clayton Jr. So what a trip it was, what an experience it was, all the way from, and it documents all my journeys up and down the streets of San Francisco, which forced me to spend about 3 weeks using a cane because my knee just about gave out on me there. So anyway, it was a great experience. The book brings all that out and a lot of insight in there about this team. It was I compared a lot to 2006, in that you look in 2006 and 4 of the guys get drafted into the NBA, and then Lee Humphrey played a bunch of years over in Europe. This team, you got 3 guys that have already been drafted into the NBA, and I dare say there may be 5 or 6 coming up this year. So it's a real run for the Gators. And quite frankly, Buddy, Rob, gosh, I'm going to get my Robs mixed up here. Florida may be the best team in the country again this year. They may be the prohibitive favorite when it's all said and done. I know, everybody's going to say Duke. I mean, there is the post Coach K effect, which means that if Duke shows up with 4 people they've found at a homeless shelter and someone at a convent and put them out on the floor, they're going to be ranked in the top 10. So Auburn's going to be good again. I know that Rob Brown, you're sitting there and you're like the rest of us, surprised that Bruce left. And Bruce is a longtime friend of mine. My gosh, can I relate a quick story about Bruce Pearl for everybody? I'm at the Peach Jam in 2007. In 2006, I nicknamed him the Sultan of Sweat. He came to the University of Florida when he was coach at Tennessee. He sweated all the way through his suit. I mean, he was a walking puddle when the game was finished. I'm at Peach Jam and Bob Redmond calls me up. I'm watching the New York Gauchos play a game. And he says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm standing here with Bruce Pearl. We're watching the New York Gauchos play." Bruce hears it and he says, "Can I use your phone for a second?" Huh? Like this. And he takes my phone and he says, "Hi, I'm Bruce Pearl, the real Bruce Pearl. I'm talking to your Franz Beard. We're watching basketball. I'm not sweating profusely."
Well, it's a lot of good stuff, and great job by you to kind of retrace. And actually, you didn't retrace because you traced it the first time. So almost every move, everything that happened the whole season was unique. And I think they're playing Duke again this year, right?
Yeah, they're going to play Duke up at Cameron this year.
Yeah.
And that speaking of scheduling, because we were on the subject of scheduling with football, by the way, and quite frankly, I like Florida's chances against South Carolina and Kentucky a whole lot better than I do LSU and Tennessee. So if that'll give us 2 wins, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Florida's the national champ, and yet Florida is going to Duke. Florida has been to Duke before. Duke has never come to Florida, and I'm sorry, but I'm pissed about that. I think that is a disrespect to Florida. I hope that Todd will sell that, and I hope they go up there and just crush Duke. I'm a Carolina guy anyway. Dean and I were good friends. I didn't like Duke then, don't like them now. Haven't found any reason to like them in between. So but let's talk about the book real quick.
Let me get a point in here. That is, you're asking, how do I get the book? We don't have the answer yet. We're going to get it to you. This is kind of a official announcement. The book is going to press on Monday. And I put it up there earlier. It's the golden season. Great job by Franz. Wonderful pictures by our
Chris Spears.
Chris Spears. And a good collaboration. Great job by Carlton Reese of collaborating, putting it all together. It's going to be something I know you're proud of, Franz, and I'm proud of too. So we're going to go out some places. Matter of fact, Rob Dotson, we got to get Franz up here to do a signing for that book.
We got to get them scheduled here. Panhandle needs you, Franz.
Oh my gosh! If you still have y'all still get good oysters coming in from over at St. Joe, don't you?
Apalachicola Bay was shut down for a few years, and you can thank Georgia for that, but I won't go into that story. But they are starting to harvest some Apalachicola Bay oysters again, so they are around.
Oh, well, then I'll be there for sure. Great shrimp too. Lower, some people call that Lower Alabama. Is that what y'all call it, Rob?
Well, in general, we do. It's LA, yes.
I mean, lower Alabama for some, and it's also called the Redneck Riviera by others. Because
I think a lot of people in Alabama wish they lived here, and they all come down here during the summertime.
Well, the one thing I do know is this: you will never find a stretch of beach from Panama City to Pensacola where you will find more pickup trucks than you will in that section of the Gulf Coast.
Along with a lot of famous people. Let Rob too tell you about what he knows. He's been coming here for 100 years, Rob.
Well, I mean, Franz is right though. You go to Grayton Beach over there on 30A, you get a permit. You can take your truck. I like it's neat right there by the Red Bar, and you can go right out there where Western Inlet comes right into the Gulf and lay in there. It's like laying in a bathtub, and you're 10, 15 feet, depending on what the tide's doing, the water coming on you. But I'm with Franz. The great thing about the Panhandle growing up is the LSU fans would come over to Destin because they don't have any beaches. Their beaches are just nasty because of all the oil washing up on there. So they come to, Navarre Beach. They come over there to Destin. They come down on 30A all the way on the Panhandle. So it's the football discussions you have.
No.
Florida State, Auburn, Alabama, LSU, Georgia, Tennessee, Memphis. You cannot beat the camaraderie that you get down there. And Gulf Coast seafood is the best seafood on the planet. It just is. I mean, it's just, catching pompano, mullet, mackerel, snapper, grouper a little further out, cobia, wahoo. Hell, I remember we're all old enough to remember when people said, don't eat amberjack, it's got worms. It's the best seafood in the world, in the Panhandle. And, you're right there on 98. You get down there and everything just kind of stands still. Quality of life down there, can't beat it. I'm just going to say this, friends. Your book, I remember you and I during basketball season, you were like my Ernie Pyle, combat correspondent. You were everywhere. And now it's going to come into a book. What a great time to get that book, sit on the beach with your feet in the surf, in the Gulf, and read that book drinking a cold road soda. I mean, what's not to like?
That's great. That's a great idea.
My window there, you'll see St. Andrews Bay. It's super bright. I would show it.
Can I throw one other thing in it? I made some arrangements that I am going to be at every single Florida basketball game this year, home and on the road. I've already got my reservations. I'll be in Las Vegas November 3rd when they open up against Arizona. I'm going to be up at the Madison Square Garden for the big game with UConn. I'll be at Duke. I'm going to be at every game this year because
that's exciting.
I think that after all, we are a basketball school, guys. There I am. I went ahead and said it, because right now to say we're a football school, it would take a miracle of parting the Red Sea proportions for Florida to suddenly become a football school again, at least this year.
I believe in miracles, by the way. I think I do. But nonetheless, the basketball book, and we're going to talk a lot about it. Rob's going to come have you down here. And I know my Rob Dotson friend is going to line up something at the Gator Club here and make a big deal out of it. You did congratulations on a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Did under a lot of duress and situations you had to deal with. You were a real pro and you wrote beautifully, and I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the book. We got to go, gentlemen. Rob 2, stay with me, and Rob 1, stay with me. And I'll say good night. Thanks, Rob Brown, and thanks, Franz.
Thanks, guys.
You bet. Always.
All right. All right, folks, we're going to say good night, and we're going to get Rob Dotson to remind us once again the fine people who made this possible. We certainly are lucky to have 2 people like Rockit Lanes and Prime Orthodontics, and we are grateful to all of them.
Absolutely. I mean, Rockit Lanes, as we said, is the host of the Panhandle Gator Club for game viewings. So come get social at Rockit Lanes and bring your family. Enjoy a day bowling, skating, or geeking out in their arcade. But Rockit Lanes, I guess join fellow Gators. I'm sorry about that.
Rob's going to take me over there soon again. He's well tired. He's got a lot going on.
I get so excited. It's hard to talk. But Rockit Lanes is a great place to go. But while your kids or yourself are there playing any of the games, come join us in their super lounge in the back of TVs. So watch the games and drink a toddy. But Rockit Lanes, 513 North Richard Jackson Boulevard, Panama City Beach, in the shops of Edgewater across from Edgewater Beach Resort, 850-249-2695 or rocketlanes.com.
Thank you, Rob. I'll turn on the music and say goodbye to you. Great job. And We won't be on next week, but we'll be back in 2 weeks on this program. Thank you to the Gator Club for their support. Check them out. Gator Club is all over Northwest Florida. This is where we got the Panhandle podcast. Thanks to Rob and the Gator Club. So have a good week, have a good night, and we'll catch you in 2 weeks for Panhandle.